Good job on the weather, Brian.
I knew you'd really appreciate that. Well, just as you went back and watched the film, obviously great win for you guys. But anything different that you saw that you didn't, that were different from your initial thoughts right after the game?
The thing that I did see is we did keep playing extremely hard the whole time. Even when it looked like the emotions changed, we didn't change. We were the same. Definitely some things we got to correct. Since I've been at Colorado, we've played some really good defensive lines, but we haven't played a defensive line that could rotate 9 guys that were all as big and as strong and as powerful as those guys. They were an extremely powerful defensive front, and that wore us down a couple times. But I thought overall our guys just kept playing hard and hard and hard. I thought our defensive line, as the game got going, got used to their size and shedded blocks and started making plays. So that was which I was concerned about going in. I knew how big their lines were, and our guys are strong and big too. So I thought they really improved on that on defense. I thought our defensive staff made some really good adjustments at halftime on a few things, so we didn't have any film on them. So I thought that was good. And you know, I was really pleased with our quarterback. His composure. He kept playing. He kept playing. He saw certain things and made great plays. So I was really pleased with him and the overall effort of our team.
Mike, you always talk about resiliency with a team and facing adversity. Is there any better teacher than actually having to face that in that kind of environment?
Yes, and there's no better teacher than winning when you face that. So it shows that staying together does make a difference, and they did that. I really was, you know, after we didn't get the 4th down play, I said, golly, did I just screw this up? Because we needed to try to get it to go, and the defense goes, we're going to stop them, and the offense, we're going to get the ball back, we're going to go score. I mean, it was just, they were all talking. I mean, there wasn't a hung head, there wasn't, why do we do this? They all knew we were trying to go win the football game every way we could, so everybody had everybody's back, which is awesome.
Tough first game to punt in for Davis Price.
Yeah.
You have confidence in him going forward?
Yeah, no, we had confidence in him going in. It's just you run out there and you're backed up on your first one back there a little bit, and you know, JT made it really good for him. All of his snaps were in there were perfect, and which made it a lot easier for Davis. And I was really pleased with how he did and fit in that role. That was a gigantic role to fit, and he did a great job at it.
This is no slight on Davis, but you've mentioned Alex is such a weapon with placing those punts. Davis has never done it. Are you going to miss that with Alex?
Well, Davis is able to do the Aussie punt, so now he's got to do it in the games. I mean, Alex is just so good at it. I think Davis will do well, and let's hope he does as good as Alex, but he can Aussie punt, so we still feel good about that. Having an opportunity to do that.
I'm sorry, have you spent more time maybe working on the special team stuff this week with the new punter, or?
We worked punt today, which we do every time, but he's punted every week because we do second team punt every day too. So that's not like the first time he's got back there. We do that every week. He practices punting every week, and you know, he got 40% of the reps, and Alex would get about 60% of the reps. So he's done it.
Josh Golden, is he the perfect example of, you always preach about everybody has to be ready to go into a game because you never know what happens?
Yes, it is. Josh is a phenomenal young man and does a great job for us. As a backup quarterback, and he's our backup holder, and then he got thrown in the game, first college game, and did an excellent job holding in there. Unique stories. Friends with my boys, and it was out. It was a manager, then came out, then decided not to come back, and then wanted to come back out. And the rest is history. And he had a great spring for us, and we noticed he could really hold, so that was a big benefit for us. Now he's doing it. So kind of hard to get thrown in there at Nebraska and just go, you know. We had to take off his signaling jerseys and headsets and everything. So it was fun to watch him do that. It really was. And that's what we talk about. Everybody step up. You never know what's going to happen. And I guarantee you, thinking going to the game, he never thought he was going to have to hold it. But he was prepared because we practice him every day too.
Did you see anything common in those 2 kicks that James missed?
He just crossed his body a little bit. He hadn't done that before, so he'll kick good this week. And I was really pleased with how the team rallied around him. You didn't, you know, sometimes when that happens, you hear guys, oh, come on, make the kick. What do you know, or they're like, you know, Hank. None of them did. You know, they're all telling him to get his head up. You can make them. They're all together. Hey, don't worry about it. If you don't make it, we'll find another way to win. You know, that was, to me, was exceptional. That was my proudest moment, to be honest. It was just watching all that happen. And if we wouldn't have won the game, I would have said the same thing, because it was there. They were going to battle to the end. But that's the only way we had a chance to win the game. So they gave themselves an opportunity to do it. So that was really special.
You mentioned after the game how physical that game was, and we
Yep.
saw a bunch of guys go off the field
Yep.
throughout that game.
Uh-huh.
How's the team health as you come into this week?
A lot of those guys were back today. A couple more guys will be back tomorrow. We do not think at this time we'll have anybody that will completely miss the game except for Alex.
Okay.
And so probably get a guy back tomorrow and get a guy back Wednesday, but they should all be 100% full speed by Thursday, ready to roll from everything that we're noticing, unless we have another tweak on an ankle tweaks again. We had some ankles, which was unusual. We had 4 ankles that were tweaks, and I'm guessing in their size and playing on the turf, we might have got caught a little bit in the turf. That's my thought process. But they should all be back, and 2 of them were back moving around well today.
Can this team keep its attention and keep its focus going into New Hampshire this week with all the stuff that's going around about them?
They better. I told them we walk into a champion center every day, and so what do we walk into a champion center? I said, okay, that's what you're going to be. You're trying to be champions, and so they better. And we have a saying around here: you either get better or you're getting worse. Nothing stays the same, and that's true in everything. So hopefully they'll keep that going this week, and they'll also carry it on in life. You never can be satisfied or settle. So they had a good practice today, and I thought that they were a little. They were into it, focused on what was going on with film and everything today from the corrections, because we had some corrections we needed to make. Because people just copy what other people do against you, so we got to get those fixed.
Could Alex theoretically come back for a bowl game and still have that red shirt?
Yes,
rule?
he could. He could. He could come back and play 2 more games and still have a red shirt year. We'll see how the surgery goes. Hopefully he'll be back in 4 weeks, but we'll see how strong it is, what he could do, how it's bothering, So we're just gonna. I talked to him about that this morning. We're just going to kind of see how it goes. But he could come back and play in 2 games at the end of the year and still redshirt the next year.
Does it help that you guys have a bye week coming up? Is that something nice? Last one you didn't have one. Last year you didn't have one until much later.
Right. That is also with Alex. That gives him another week. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, the bye weeks are always good, especially kind of get us ready right before we start Pac-12 season. It's probably pretty good. If you said you wanted a spot, I think that's a pretty good spot to have. All right, thanks, guys.